All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to class today. Happy Friday. Glad you're here. Hope everything's going great for you today. Um, Obviously, you can see I'm not here, so please be awesome for the sub today. Please don't have the sub write your name down. I would hate to have to write office referrals if you are not good for the sub. So please, please, please be great for the sub today. Um, Today, the sub should hand you several things, and hopefully you will get them in this order. You should get guided notes. When you're finished with the guided notes, you should get some documents about appeasement. And once you've read the articles and annotated the articles about appeasement, you should get a direction slip for an advertisement that you are going to make. All right, our goals for today is for you to understand the concept of appeasement, be able to explain at least one pro and one con of appeasement. That's one good thing and one bad thing. We're also going to ask for you to decide whether or not the policy of appeasement was actually effective during World War II. Was it actually a good thing during World War II? That's what you're going to take a look at today. Now, if you haven't done so yet, please grab your guided notes and make sure the sub is giving you your guided notes, and we're going to go ahead and get started with them today. We've been talking a lot about dictators and how they've done some crazy things. Well, the dictator that we're going to talk about today is Adolf Hitler. And we're going to talk about how he kind of gets this ball rolling for World War II. And we're going to talk about some of his first moves here. You know, we always knew that Treaty of Versailles would lead to something else, but we never really knew what. We knew it was a bad treaty with the way that they treated Germany so harshly after World War I that they're going to want revenge. Hitler's going to be the one that's going to come after this revenge. So the question is, what does he do? All right, the very first thing he's going to do is he's going to start to violate the Treaty of Versailles. He's going to build up the German military. He's going to create an air force and reinstate the military draft. He's going to increase his army size from 100,000 soldiers to 550,000 soldiers. And then, just like we saw on our superhero trading cards yesterday, in 1936, he's going to invade the Rhineland. That is a demilitarized area of Germany that is along the border between France and Germany. Things are going to start to get a little scary. France and Great Britain allow Hitler to violate this treaty. The big question is why? You can see Germany here on this map is all in gray, but you can see where it points to the Rhineland and how it shares that border with France. Okay, and you're going to see Germany start to take over this stuff here. Germany's going to jump right in and start taking over some land. You see it. Other areas they take over too, but we'll talk about them a little bit later. So, I got this word here, appeasement. And appeasement is giving concessions or allowances in exchange for peace. France and Great Britain practiced this policy of appeasement in hopes that it would be satisfied and peace would be preserved. Basically, they let Hitler do whatever he wanted so that they could try to avoid war. That's what they were trying to do. Okay? It's kind of like giving the bully your money so he doesn't beat you up. That's what appeasement is. It's not necessarily the best thing in the world. Sometimes it can work, but most of the time it doesn't. And in this case, what we're going to see is that appeasement isn't really going to work. All right, so 1938, Hitler wants a piece of Czechoslovakia called the Sudetenland. So he calls the British, the French, and Italian leaders to meet in one of the cities in Germany, in Munich, to reach an agreement. And basically what these leaders allow Hitler to do is invade Czechoslovakia in exchange for Hitler's promise that he won't take over anything else. But as we all know, we all saw in our Dictators Project, Hitler's going to be a big fat liar. You can see on this map here, the area of the Sudetenland is the one where the lines are all straight up and down, and you can see where he starts to take over that. That's where Hitler said, hey, I promise I won't take over any more land as long as you let me have it. Anybody in here think we could trust Adolf Hitler? Unfortunately, some people in the rest of the world did, and it created lots of problems. You take a look at this map here. This map shows you the area that they took as well. You can see the Rhineland that he took over. You can see Austria that they're going to take over. And you can see in orange the Sudetenland that they take over also. Germany is just going crazy taking land, and nobody's stopping them. There's Hitler, and you can see Mussolini on his right there, and you see the guys from England and France at the Munich conference. Okay, and this is where they actually told Hitler he was allowed to do those things that he did. And this is a picture of them at the Munich conference. Well, a couple of different reactions to this Munich conference. All right. The French guy, Neville Chamberlain, returns to, I'm sorry, it's the English guy, Neville Chamberlain, returns to England and says, hey, we did it. We preserved peace in our time. And people were cheering about the Munich conference and were cheering about appeasement. Winston Churchill, a member of the British Parliament who is on your superhero card, eventually becomes the next prime minister, didn't like appeasement. He said, we're in the presence of a disaster of the first magnitude. Do not suppose that this is the end. This is the only first sip, the first taste of the bitter cup. And that's what it is. This is going to be the very first things that Hitler does, and it's not going to be good. So what are the consequences of appeasement? 1939, Hitler takes over all of Czechoslovakia and sets his sights on Poland. France and Great Britain say they will declare war on Germany, and they say they're going to defend Poland if Germany invades. But Hitler believes that France and Great Britain won't actually step up and defend Poland. So what does he do? He invades Poland on September 1st, 1939, and World War II begins. So we got appeasement here. Okay? Some people thought it was good. Some people thought it was bad. The sub hopefully next will give you a document, if they haven't already done so, that's got a couple of articles on it that I'd like you to annotate. You'll have about 5 minutes to read each document and be thinking about what is one pro, a good thing, and what is one con, bad thing about appeasement. This means you might need a highlighter or underline as you read, because the quotations that you highlight will prove helpful in our next activity. So take a couple of minutes and read. Excellent. I hope you read, and if you had questions, hopefully you asked the sub. What I'm going to ask you to do next is take the third piece of paper that the sub gave you, which has these directions in which you are going to create a newspaper advertisement on the back of the half sheet of paper that explains the policy of appeasement to the general public. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to create a simile or metaphor for appeasement in your advertisement. So for example, you'll say, appeasement is like giving a crying baby a lollipop. And what you can see here is that I give the baby a lollipop and they stop crying. In our case, talking about Adolf Hitler, the lollipop that we gave him was Czechoslovakia. Guys, as you're creating these advertisements, it's important to show your readers both sides of the argument. Include at least one pro and one con of appeasement in your advertisement. You can use this, you can do this using a quote or a statistic. Your advertisement could be a T-chart, it could be drawings, it could be a cartoon. It's really up to you what you do here, but you're going to complete it on the back of the half sheet of paper that the sub gave you. Hopefully it should be the third thing that the sub gave you. If you have questions about what you're doing today, please feel free to send me an email. Feel free to post a comment on Google Classroom, and I will reply back. Again, guys, please be great to the sub today. Please don't put yourself in a situation where you get in trouble because you are not a wonderful student. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.